everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. This is Sarah from Sarah's Stamping Retreat, and we're going to be creating some cards today using this Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper from the Hues of Happiness suite from the brand new 2022 to 2023 annual catalogue. So you'll see it's a really lovely bright set of papers. You can buy the bundle to go with it, so if you want these gorgeous sentiments and flowers to stamp, and you can see that there's also a bunch of dies, and I'm going to be doing a lot of fussy cutting in this video. Obviously if you get the dies, then they also die cut a lot of the flowers that are in the paper set, so if you get the dies then you'll save a whole bunch of time versus fussy cutting. But I quite like fussy cutting. I did it in front of the TV last night, so that you wouldn't have to watch me cut loads on the video. So it's really up to you what your preferences are, whether you want to do fussy cutting or whether you want the dies to go with it. You can see it's really beautiful. So I'm just going to take you through the papers. So you get 12 sheets of 12 by 12 papers, and they're double-sided. So there's 6 double-sided designs and you get 2 of each. So you'll see there's a lot of flowers that you can either fussy cut or die cut out amongst the pages. So you've got this one with this on the back. You've got this, which is the same but in different colours, with this on the back. You've got this gorgeous sheet here, which we're not going to use this paper today, but look out on my channel because I'm planning another video with this paper. And that's got that on the back. We've got these flowers with this on the back, nice ditzy pattern. We've got these flowers, and that has this gorgeous stripy effect on the back. These flowers with this on the back. So tons of really gorgeous papers in there. So I'm going to start off with a really simple layout. So I've got an A6 card blank, which is 8 1/4 by 5 7/8 inches, scored and folded in half. And I'm just going to take this piece of that gorgeous paper that I have cut down to 1/4 of an inch smaller than the front. I'm just going to glue that onto the front of my card. And when I got really pretty paper like this, I do often like to kind of make a card that's quite simple and really makes the most of the paper. So then for this one, I've taken the Just Want to Say from this Floral Gallery die set. So that you can see all these coordinate with this stamp set here. That's the Art Gallery stamp set. And I've passed it through my die cutting machine 3 times, and I'm going to layer them up so that we've got a nice kind of dimensional sentiment, which I find a lot easier than trying to add foam or anything to the back of these kind of quite intricate die cuts. It just helps it stand off the page a little bit more. And you can see when I've added 3 layers together, it's much thicker, more substantial than just 1 layer. So then I've got my nice dimensional sentiment, which says Just Want to Say. And I'm going to use the coordinating stamp set. So that says, I miss you, congratulations, happy birthday, good luck, sorry, thank you, best wishes, you're lovely, I'm thinking of you. So I'm going to use happy birthday today. And I just want to heat emboss the happy birthday onto a piece of nice navy cardstock. And then I'm going to pour on some white embossing powder. This is the Stampin' Up white embossing powder. This is just an old bit that I've got left from a kit. That's why it's in a different bottle to usual. So I'm going to grab my heat tool and just heat that up. And can you see how shiny that is? You can't see the grains anymore. I hope that shows up on camera. So that's how you know when to stop with the heat tool, is when you can't see the grains anymore, it's just shiny. So I've just cut that down. So I think I want my sentiment about there. But what I'm going to do, a little trick, because I like the layout of the actual die, I'm going to put this down so I can add my die cut pieces through it and they'll have the same layout as the original die. Another good trick for this is if you don't particularly want to do like fiddly gluing, then just add some adhesive sheets to the back of the cardstock before you die cut, and then you can just peel it off and stick it. I always forget until it's too late, but that's a really nice trick. So then I can just take that template bit off. And then I've got the layout from my die. Now I'm just going to add some dimensionals to the back of this sentiment. And I've got just want to say happy birthday. So then you've got a cute card that really makes the most of that background paper. Then I'm going to make another cute simple card, and this time I'm going to use some of the flowers that I've just cut out from the paper. So I'm going to heat emboss that happy birthday sentiment again I used in the last card, and this time I'm going to put it onto some Mossy Meadow cardstock, and Mossy Meadow is the colour of the leaves, so it should pick up that colour nicely. And let's just melt that as well. So I've just cut that down. I've got an A6 basic white card blank, so I've used the thick basic white cardstock for this. And I'm just going to arrange my flowers over the card. So I'm happy with that layout, so I'm going to start sticking those bits down. And then I'm going to use some foam pads behind the flowers. Now I'm going to finish it off with some of these brushed metallic adhesive back dots. You see these greeny looking ones here. So then that's that card completed. So for this next one, I thought we'd have a bit of fun with a circle aperture card. So I'm going to use one of my circle layering dies. You can see you get 16 dies. Some of them have got scalloped edges and some of them have got the plain edges. So I'm going to use one of the plain edges. And I've got a 5x5 card blank made of Night of Navy cardstock, and I'm just going to pop that through my die cutting machine so that I die cut a circle from the centre of the front of the card. So then we've got our aperture card. Now I'm going to put this piece of Blushing Bride. So I've got a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock that measures 4 3/4 inches square to put inside there so that you see a bit of pink through to the front. And I'm just going to line that up because I want to do my stamping before I stick this down, so I don't want to ruin my card if I don't stamp it correctly. So then I'm going to use this happy birthday sentiment from this Celebrating You stamp set for this one. And it's a really nice sentiment stamp set. And I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy ink. I'm going to stamp it through the aperture so that I know that it's where I want it to be. And that worked out pretty nicely, so now I can glue this inside. And then I've cut some flowers out that I'm going to put around the outside of the circle. Then I can start putting gluing some of these down. And then I'm just going to pop a few dimensionals on the back of this centre flower. I obviously don't want the dimensional to show through this bit, so I'm just being careful to put them on bits that aren't going to show through. So then that's that card finished. So then for the next card, I've got another A6 card blank in basic white, and I'm going to stamp that happy birthday that we used for the last card just on this side here, and I'm stamping it in Mossy Meadow ink. And then what I'm going to do is I've cut out a whole bunch of these flowers, and I'm just going to arrange these . So now that I'm happy with that layout, I'm going to glue them down. I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals. So then there's that card finished. So then for my final card, I've got a DL card blank. So I've made that out of thick basic white cardstock. So that is 7 3/4 inches by 8 1/4 inches, scored and folded in half. And I've taken a piece of that gorgeous stripy paper. I say stripy in the loosest of senses. It's really pretty, and I'm just going to glue that across my card front. So now that I've got this, I've got some of the flowers cut out from the papers, and I'm just going to mix and match them. So I'm not going to put them on the same colours, but there's still going to be a rainbow down the side, just so that they show up a bit better. And then I'll put some foliage along there as well. So I'm going to glue these big ones down and then pop those little roses up on dimensionals. I might actually just let them overhang a little bit, and then I can cut the excess off. my scissors and I'm just going to trim that off here. So it's easier to do from the back because then you can use the line of the card to show you where you need to trim. So then we've got this really cool, bright, colourful card. So I'm just going to create a sentiment for that. So for this one, I'm going to use this Happy Birthday from the Peaceful Moment stamp set. I will link all of these stamp sets below that I've used for the sentiments and bits, but obviously you could just use whatever sentiments you've got to hand. I made that slightly wonky, but I can cut that down straight. Put on my embossing powder. Let's just heat that up. So I'm just going to go and cut that down. So I'm going to pop that on some dimensionals. That's my final card finished. Let's bring them all in. So there are all of today's cards. I'd love to know which one's your favourite. Let me know in the comments below. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I'd appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also let you know when I've got a new YouTube video available. All of the products that I've used today are linked in the description below, and there's also a host code there, so if you pop the host code into your basket before you check out, then I'll send you a free gift after the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.